Yeah, yeah. Hey, Joe, how you doing?
Hey, Praveen. Hey, Sarah. How are you guys doing today? Sorry, I'm
Okay,
on
how are you doing? Yeah, it's like a busy day for us. Sorry that I had to delay the call. I had some other calls coming in. You know how it is. I always
no, that's
underestimate the time that it takes.
absolutely. I totally understand. I'm in the middle of pool time supervising, so that extra couple
I
minutes
know. It's
actually
like
really
a
helps. So,
Saturday, right? Hopefully nobody's gonna, everybody can be safe, that you can think about having a life preserver around.
yeah, we've got pizza and chicken fingers on the way. All is under
Okay,
control.
okay, good, good. Keep them happy. Chicken fingers always keeps me happy.
There you go. That's it. That's
See,
it.
the life will be better off with chicken fingers. See, that's world peace right there.
We got it all figured out already.
Good, good. Okay, so Praveen, I apologize for that. I'd spoken to this person. I had seen him a while, and he does it. What's good about him, Praveen, is he does a number of mobile apps as well. So
Okay.
we're
Hey,
thinking
hey,
about
Robin.
so some of the things that we are doing. We can also get him involved in some of our projects with doing some mobile app development. So he was really excited. And
Okay,
we,
yeah, I think, but I think the energy topic would probably
yeah,
in the Bitcoin
yeah,
topic,
yeah.
obviously
I'm
the
just
panel.
telling you, giving
Okay.
you a background. But yes, he has done an energy. He has a company, confidential something. I forgot.
Okay. Hey,
That
hey,
does
Robin.
Yeah, I can
Hey,
hear you.
man. Hey, guys. This is Robin, the convener of the conference.
uh-huh.
Um, but hey, Robin, I was thinking, for the business area, since actually Dr. Rushniks can be there like all day now, and Joe is also going to be arriving in the morning, rather than
Okay.
just, I think like, maybe we could, give an opportunity for some of the experts who are, coming to, provide like a help desk type situation, even the new panels too. If he can even do mobile apps for Bitcoin as well, like people can, just do a roundtable discussions, um, in that area. People want to learn about different topics or ask questions. Yeah, what do you think?
Um, let me see. You're saying that setting up a roundtable in the business area,
Yeah,
business
well,
zone.
roundtable. Yeah, roundtable is like just a metaphor per se. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know about roundtable there per se, but I don't know why that popped up. It says recording in progress, but yeah, I don't know about a roundtable in the business zone. But what you can do is you can set up a table and people can ask them stuff. You know. I don't know if it's a good idea to have two separate schedules
Okay.
there. So if they want to set up a table and just talk to people, just never. It's gonna be a lot of people. We made the venue a lot smaller than before,
Okay.
so it's only half of what it normally was. When you've been to the other mine disrupts, there's a lot bigger. This one's only half the size. So, but we have roughly the same amount of attendees. So it's gonna feel a little bit packed. Maybe in the morning, people are on attrition now throughout the day because people get tired, but I think overall it's going to be a great event. But yeah, I think you can do whatever you want in the business zone. I don't know if you're going to, it's a good idea to have a discussion, like a round table in there. So if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Anything else?
I was going to go over the questions and such now. You're welcome to stay for that and things, but
Okay.
yeah. Uh, yeah. So Dr. Rushnick, do you want to talk about the, I think, Avi mentioned he wants to do remote monitoring or
Yes,
some of those
yes,
360 cameras.
yes. Yeah, we'll show it and we'll talk about remote monitoring and remote.
Can you show your picture so we can see your face?
No, because you have all the cameras. I can't get the cameras
So
working.
show me where it is and let me handle it.
Okay.
We can talk.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Hey, Joe. So what we're describing is, um, they have like a remote monitoring setup with cameras, on their forehead.
Praveen, let me correct you before you continue, okay? I tried to explain it to you with my broken English, but it's hard for me to come through because I'm not picking up ideally the exact words. This is why I was saying that if I can have a native English speaker like you to help me a little out, and once I test it on you and you understand it, then you can communicate much
Yeah,
better.
I think we can test it out in the business area since we're the last panel
I
of the
could
day.
test it
Yeah.
with you now. So I tried to explain it to you in the previous shows, but I can see that it didn't come through, and I can appreciate it because I know that I'm trying it on Sarah, and she doesn't understand the thing. So I know, and she was working with me only for 40 years, so I
Right.
only spend about a few hours with you. So I know that you have no
Yeah,
chance.
I think Dr. Rushinek, I mean, yeah, I've known you for a long time. I think since 2017. So I understand like
Yeah, but
you know,
we didn't ever really, I didn't ever really explain to you what I'm doing in any extent of time that you can understand it. You know what I mean? I know
okay,
that
that's fine. Yeah, go ahead. That's fine.
that you are graduating in film or movies, and something that I've done more than 250,000 videos. But as far as formal education and understanding of what I'm doing is close to zero, besides my experience, of course. So what I was trying to explain to you in the previous show, this is not a camera, this is a full computer. It is a full Android computer with a multiple storage, internal memory, and external micro SD card with 500, half a terabyte. The only point is that I cannot get my camera to work now, but you saw me already, so you don't need, you can explain it in proper English to Joe Dillon if you are interested, but I want to make sure that you understand it. This is a full blown computer mounted on your head, and I'm a professor of accounting. What I'm doing is what is called consolidated audit trail. Do you know what an audit trail is for auditing purposes?
Yeah, and I think Joe also is very familiar.
Okay.
Yeah, Joe,
Yeah, I'm with you.
why don't you introduce yourself real quickly because the Dr. Rushniks haven't met you yet. So.
Yeah. Hey, doctor, it's a pleasure to meet you. Joe Dillon. I've been in energy for about 20 years. I started out doing large-scale capital projects, think deep water offshore drilling rigs, wind farms, floating platforms in Singapore, Australia, and Brazil for about a decade. Came back to the States, got my MBA from Carolina, and then ran Honeywell's global demand response business unit for several years, which is they have 13 of the top 25 IOUs in the U.S. and kind of the cutting edge, kind of the residential demand response market. From there, I went kind of into startup land. Most recently, I was the founding energy team member for U.S. Bitcoin. So we grew that business from about 20 megawatts of Bitcoin mining to about 800 in about 15 months. Currently, I've got a consulting business / development business where I do a lot of consulting with utilities on tariff design. I'm busy putting about 700 megawatts behind the meter at some large natural gas plants in Texas, and I've got another probably 300 or 400 megawatts of sites under development across the central and southeast U.S. So kind of that connective tissue piece that touches all parts of the energy space, as well as power traders, demand response providers, and then the Bitcoin miners.
Impressive.
Yes. Let me tell you our background. We've been teaching it. We got an award from the University of Miami after teaching here for more than 40 years. They give you some watches and all kinds of bags and tools and so on.
Fantastic. I love it.
We've been teaching here in accounting and business technology. We got our PhD from the University of Texas in Austin about 45 years ago. So where we got involved in oil and gas because the University of Texas owned oil and gas resources that were allowed to be used only for academic purposes. So they had this huge oil and gas income that they had to use for the university because this is how it was provided to the university. So we got involved with it. We were working in the computer lab at the university as proctors and as assistant professors. And then the Public Utility Commission was, they didn't have enough computer resources, so they rented computers from the University of Miami and they were looking for people to help them with the Public Utility Commission on rate cases. So they hired us to work on rate cases, on calculating the loss of load probability, which you may know something about it. 45 years ago, it was a new thing to change the rate on a minute by minute based on the probability, the loss of load probability. So in other words, when the utility is about to crash because there's too much demand, raise the price so the demand goes down on the fly and it doesn't saturate the utility. And so the Public Utility Commission hired us to work with their expert witnesses to provide them with analytical and computer technology to support them when they went to the court to contest the price controls of the government. There were cases that they needed the evidence of why do they want to raise or lower the price. So we would develop computer models to show them why the price should go up and down based on the loss of load probability. So we got involved with it, and we have published several dozen articles in Referee Journal for the oil and gas industry and so on. So that is how we got involved in the oil and gas. And thereafter, in the past some 40 years, we were involved in all kinds of issues related to that. And now back to what is, do you understand, Joe, what is a consolidated audit trail?
Yeah, very much so, like chain of custody from an accounting perspective.
So what do you think it is, Joe?
So when you're trying to, when you have a source dollar that then goes through a business process and then through another business process and then turns into a product, you're proving the flow of funds through there, and there's no either contamination of funds or leakage of funds within the business. Are we talking about the same thing?
No, not at all.
Okay, then I'm misunderstood.
What you're talking about is a regular audit trail. Okay?
Okay.
Now, what you don't understand, what is the consolidation? Or maybe I misinterpreted it. What do you think is the consolidation? What is a consolidated audit trail as opposed to what you're talking about, which is a regular audit trail?
So would that be like multiple independent entities with their audits tied out?
Now you're getting close to it. What will be an example of such entities?
The factory, the utility, and the power plant.
How are they independent?
Well, the power plant's individually owned, the utility is publicly owned, and the factory is owned by Honeywell.
Okay, so this is coming closer to it. You can later on search it on the internet, but with my book in English, I'll try to explain it to you, and Sarah can translate my English to more understanding words. This is for counterparties. So let's say that the University of Miami and your conference are two independent parties. You understand?
Yes.
And if the University of Miami wants to set up a booth in your conference, there will be, and you charge some money for the booth. I just make it up so that is an example that you can relate to. You'll have two independent parties. And when they pay for the booth, it goes through their regular audit trail. But normally, the University of Miami will have no access to your accounting system. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
So you are a counterparty to the university because when they pay you, it is all recorded in their accounting system, but there is no idea what is going on. How do you record it and what do you do? It is all coming from the stock market. You know, when if I'm a trader and we are trying to gang on the stock market and to drive the prices up and down, all the incidents that you had that people crash the stock markets by doing all kinds of shenanigans from abroad. The United States cannot track what happens on the accounting system in Russia. The idea of consolidated audit trail is taking the audit trail that you understood as you described to me and take it to the next level so the government can figure out what are the counterparties doing in near real time. And they can stop the escalation and the crash of the stock market when they sense that there is a external collusion among what are supposed to be independent party, but they are really colluding with each other to crash the market, to bring it down to a stop, then to gang on the market and buy the stocks very cheaply. And then as soon as the market recover and the stock going up a few seconds or a few minutes later, sell it at an abnormally high profit and at the expense of everybody else in the market.
Yep, I'm following.
That is called the consolidated audit trail, which means the two parties that are supposed to be independent but are not really independent. And the only way to prove it in a court of law is to have not only the audit trail of your company in this case, but also, let's say, I make up a fraud, which I'm not saying that you are doing. It is just an example. So let's say that you have a scheme that you are going to collect money from vendors and you don't really have a show. You put up a website and then in the last minute, 5 minutes before it or during this thing, you'll say the show has been canceled, but you have a statement on your website that no money is going to come back and they will be able to use a future show. In the meantime, they paid you for a booth and so on, and the next show is in Honolulu and they don't want to go to Honolulu and have a booth there, and then there is a problem here.
Yep.
So, anyways, this an extended consolidated audit trail would show that you don't have any on your end. There is nothing but a shell or a show, a website. You don't really and you take the money and you buy a Cadillac, and whatever you are doing with the money has nothing to do with what you proclaim to be doing. Like in the Bahamas, when he was supposed to sell money, open an account for Praveen to provide him with place so he can trade Bitcoin. He took the money and he refunded it to his own hedge fund and wasted it on all kinds of other things that have nothing to do with Praveen and so on. So now in Bitcoin, you have a lot of fraud and a lot of problem. One of which is a energy cost that is too high. And you cannot be profitable if your energy cost alone brings you to losing cash flow. So what is the solution is to have remote rigs. Let's say in other places where energy is close to zero, like Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, Russia, in place that you don't want to, that the owners don't want to live, yet they have to have very good control and sense when they're going to steal everything and do shenanigans, they can stop the money flow. So this idea of providing consolidated audit trail in real time, together with videos that are synced by the timeline. So all the videos, including the video, Praveen, that my computer is streaming live to the local device and also to the internet. Let's say that Praveen owns a rig, right? And he cannot afford to run it in Miami because it is prohibitively expensive. So he sets it up in the Ukraine, which of course he doesn't want to live there, and in Russia where the energy is close to zero, and in Saudi Arabia. But he will be able to tell every employee, you wear the head mount and you turn it on, and in real time I can see everything that you are doing. And I have a surveillance camera in the place so they cannot pull any shenanigans, and tech support immediately as soon as there is a fire because the heat is so high and the air conditioner doesn't work. We will notice it, the alarm will go right away, and Praveen will be warned, hey, my Saudi rigs are heating too much, go and make sure that they treat the problem before the whole thing is on fire, and so on. So what we are going to add to it is this component. Not only is it a CAT, consolidated audit trail, but it will have multiple recording. And this is why I was talking to Praveen, because he studied film. And basically what we do unintentionally is produce a lot of film, because everybody has a computer, head-mounted computer, that is generated 24/7 video of what is going on, and to enable a remote auditor to see in real time what a remote rig is doing, for example, but take advantage of the close to zero energy costs, such as in Saudi, Iran, Russia, and so on. So basically, this is what I was trying to explain to Praveen at the time, but every time we have a chance to talk, it's in the middle of some conference. And so I never had any time to explain it to them, to Praveen, that this is a really full computer that can stream live to any remote server and can run Zoom. So the session we are running now, right now we are running it between us. So each one of us is a client of this Zoom session. But what we can do is make the head mount computer a client and also the 360 camera, Praveen, a client. So you'll be able to see in real time whatever my eyes see. So if I'm going out to the pool now, to my private pool, you'll be able to see it in real time and tell me, hey, get yourself back to the trading, to the rig and monitor the computer. Don't go me out to the pool and other things. You're supposed to be there and monitor it in real time, okay? And it all started also from a trading room that we were involved with, where the day traders couldn't go to the bathroom because they were afraid that the market will turn around and they will lose their money. Until they peed in their pants, they felt, hey, we have to go to the bathroom. Then they went to the bathroom, the market crashed and they lost a lot of money. So they asked us, what can we do? I said, just run this is a head-mounted computer with Android, and you can run the client on the head mount. So what you do is you run it in two ways, the trading strategy algorithm. This is algorithm that are buying and selling securities autonomously and independently, but you can override them anytime the market goes crazy. So what we did is we told them, why don't you install it on this Android, such system such as MetaTrader that runs on Android, on Windows, on Unix. Run the strategy on your head and go to the bathroom and take a walk and relax. You see it in real time. Anytime the market goes crazy, you can talk to it verbally. I can tell it flash on. And now it doesn't work. I have to pause long enough. Unlike Alexa, that you tell Alexa something, Alexa, play the Beatles. So
shuffling songs by the Beatles.
You hear Alexa? So
Yeah.
Alexa, stop. And they didn't implement it on this computer, but you can install the Alexa. Otherwise, you have to pause long enough for the computer to sense the pause, and then I'm telling him, I'm going to stop for a few seconds, and then tell him the instruction to turn on flash.
Sure.
Flash on. And it's in
Okay.
So it's in a testing mode that we will demonstrate it so people can understand it. The idea is to enable Bitcoin rig owners and miners to be profitable and stay in business, because without cash flow, you're getting basically strangulated, which is what happens to them.
Sure. So listening to all this, Avi, I was remembering the time I was walking along Ocean Drive on South Beach, and I saw you and Sarah, Dr. Rushinek, at a dance competition. I think it's
Right.
I can imagine you guys like doing your Bitcoin trading and also remote Bitcoin mining in Ukraine while you're dancing on South Beach. So that'd be
That was the idea. Actually, we taught a class at the University of Miami in continuing education on ballroom dancing.
Oh wow, yeah. So I think this can be related to, like, there's a
This
return
is
to work
exactly what you were
mentality.
talking about. This is why we were there, to make a case point of doing those two things that appear to be totally unrelated, but in fact they are related by time.
Yeah. So I was thinking, that's a good point. Like, everything is, with real time. That's what AI can help us with too. So you can't possibly, look at all this footage, these security cameras, even remote monitoring infrastructure on ASICs can look at. You need to have some sort of like system to either have an alarm trigger or intermittent, or actually have an AI help you as well.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking
AI
it also helps.
AI is really important, Praveen. You got it.
Yeah, this is the key. This is the single most important thing that unfortunately I didn't mention now, but you put it up. And specifically ChatGPT and the new one that Google is coming with, and face recognition. What we are doing when we are taking this video and we're discussing now what it is, and you see, I don't know if you can see the closed caption on the bottom of the screen, but anyways, that produces a transcript which we later feed into ChatGPT, get a report, and take the report and pop it into, let's say, an audit trail. So this is exactly what we are doing, and we want to, you took the words out of my nose, so to speak. Being intelligent as you are, you make up a lot of stuff that I didn't mention, that I intended to mention first, because that is the single most important thing. With the advent of AI now, you can do things that you could have never done before. And this is taking this transcript that is a timeline type of transcript and converting it to a nice little summary for human to read in a couple of paragraphs and understand what I'm doing, instead of me wondering about it maybe half an hour and confusing you thoroughly, and needing to have somebody like you that is way above the average intelligence and can make up half the things that I didn't say and explain them, but the average person would never be able to tie the 1 and 2 and figure out that together it is 3.
But it's basically the data. We're overwhelmed with the data, and what really AI is going to help is to basically tell us not only alerts, but what to do. And that's the case, because what we're trying to prevent, exactly what you're saying, Praveen, to stare at the screen all day. Who in the right mind wants to stare at a screen today? And even if you stared at a screen, you would lose attention and you wouldn't be able to know what was happening, or you're not an expert there and to be able to know. So that's where it's going to be a combination with AI, but you're going to need people. In this case, with Joe, his job is not going to be eliminated because he has the experience there to be able to even feed that into AI, or even to say, hey, this is where it's wrong, or I'm going to be able to find out the summary and act upon the summary. But yes, you got it.
Okay, so the title of our panel is Energy Solutions and Sustainability. So we probably should relate all this back to the topic. I mean, we obviously have all day in the business area of this conference to talk about other things as well. But on the stage, that's what our title is. Joe, do you have any thoughts on that? On energy solutions and sustainability is our topic.
Sure. There was a research study that came out last month on the IRA showing that in order to do the full build out of all the renewables intended in the IRA, the intermittent wind and solar, you're going to need over 500 gigawatts of dispatchable flexible load on the grid. I think we're at about 10 today. And it's not cost effective to do that in, hold on one.
I forgot to mention one other thing that's really important. The other thing that is very important that I forgot to mention it. I tried to describe it to Praveen many times, but I'm sure that I didn't do such a good job. Our focus is on reverse engineering algorithms such as the stock market or the ranking on the website. So when we want, we can tap the search engine results page with our keywords. And the idea is to enable Bitcoin businesses to raise money and support their operation by explaining how they get around the various problems. But nobody is going to go down 1 million hits on Google or on YouTube. So I was showing Praveen how I'm typing my keyword on top of the YouTube search engine, and we come up with our classes. We were using the classes as a guinea pig, so to speak, and also the students loved it. When they didn't come to the class, they went to YouTube, they typed the keyword, and at first, the 10th position was the class that is broadcasted live, and they can participate in the class whether they are in Ukraine or whether they sit at home with COVID, and after recovering from COVID, they still can spread the disease. So we don't want them to come to the class, and they don't want to come and infect everybody, but they want to participate in the class. And this way, they participate from home. In the Bitcoin situation, the Bitcoin miners are losing investors because everybody thinks that this Bitcoin is a loser opportunity and they want to withdraw their money, and Bitcoin dropped from 40 or whatever it was to 20. So you have to explain to the public that now there are solutions to that, and this particular rig is taking advantages of the solution and show it to them, not just tell them stories. And this is what you can do in live streaming video from Ukraine or wherever it is, to show people, hey, we are profitable, we are cash flow positive because we are doing things that nobody else is doing, such as using solar panel, using countries where the energy cost is close to zero, and half a dozen other things that are presented in the conference.
Yeah, it sounds great, Dr. Rushinek. I'm thinking like, like Joe, like a lot of these things people do remote mining or cloud mining, but there's so much fraud in that. So I think that also relates to the consolidated accounting as well. Like,
yeah, I think you'll really see the accounting come through as you start to see creditable counterparties. Like essentially, in order to develop a derivative market for hash rate, you need to have creditable counterparties in a known operating environment. I think that's why I've spent a lot of time focusing on like regulated power plants and utilities, and then high credit worthy real estate development. So you have, you eventually you're going to essentially have these marketplaces of miners where you can just buy and sell them when they're already hooked in, and the hosting package you're paying for it, and you're going to be able to deploy that, kind of deploy your hash strategically across the market. And I think that's, to circle that back to the sustainability side, when you look at the demand response market today, it's probably a $500 billion market. And in order for the IRA build out to complete, we're going to need to 20 or 50x that market. So, I mean, that alone is a multi-trillion-dollar market for callable flexible load. And Bitcoin's the cheapest per megawatt way to put that on the grid fast. So I think that's an interesting angle to take potentially. I mean, there's several others we can look at, but I think that one's pretty compelling.
Yeah, that was supposed to be our center point. That is why we introduced to Praveen, the guy from Florida Power and Light, and we are trying to round up some speakers, but the time that you gave us between the Monday and the time that we knew what is the agenda was too short, so they said that
next time. For
now, they didn't have enough time to round the proper representative, but they have a lot of interest and a lot of things about solar. They have, I don't know if you are aware of it, Joe, they have something that is called Solar Together. Have you heard about it? Can you repeat it in English?
Sorry,
yeah.
Sorry, Avi, can you say it again? I had a
Sarah would say it.
No, that FPNL is now doing are you familiar with FPNL now doing a Solar Together project?
I'm not familiar with that specific project, Sarah, no.
Yeah, so basically they're trying then basically a number of parties to work together in solar, so we can combine forces. So we're going to be talking to them, and it'd be interesting, Joe, maybe with Praveen later on, we can set up a panel with them as well, so we can learn about it.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't be a one-time thing. That the largest Bitcoin conference is coming, just also coming up in the next couple months as well.
Yeah, no, but anyways, we can do it even offline as well. Right. So we're going to be doing it. Okay. So what else, Praveen, do we need?
I think that's good. Because literally our panel is, it's the last panel of the day, which also makes it like, we could probably go over with no one kicking us off stage, because, so we have a break between our last panel and intermission and before the closing remarks. So even though our panel seems shorter, it's probably gonna be the longest one, so we won't be kicked off. But even if we are, though, we have the area that's kind of like just, we can mingle around all day. So we can be there before and after, like all day, basically.
Yeah, we'll try to be there a bit early. Yeah.
Let me just mention one other topic: is a SPAC. Joe, do you understand what it is? Can you pronounce it in English?
SPAC. Have you heard about it, Joe?
Yeah, I worked with a startup that exited via SPAC. I'm very familiar with the process.
Okay, very good. So the company that produces this head mount, Realware, say it.
It basically, the company that we're going to be demoing is called Realware. Real, like REAL, and Wear, WEAR, and they just went public with a SPAC.
So we wanted to explain to people that have rigs that they need to raise capital about the SPAC, and using as an example this company that developed this head mount, it is called head mounted tablet, HMT, and this is the first generation, and they basically got to a point that they need more money, and if they don't get any more infusion of money, it will really hurt their growth. So they set up a SPAC that has been open a few weeks ago, and we wanted to explain to the audience that if they have something really good that the public should know about, to circumvent the bureaucracy of the market, they can start a SPAC, and that way they can raise a lot of public funds quickly. And we wanted to explain to them what is a SPAC, and maybe you know about it, but I think that a lot of the rig owners may not.
Yeah, I think that could be something we can do in the deal area. I don't think we'll have time for all this.
No, that is for later on for discussion, but we can mention it in
But I think,
two words.
But I think that's useful for the deal area. I'm sure people have questions about that.
For the dealer area.
Yeah, the deal area. Yeah. So I think we can set up, like Robin said, we can have a desk there. So they like help us. You guys, anyone can just sit and.
Yeah. So basically, I guess Praveen will see you there on Monday, and then you'll lead the show. Maybe we can meet a little bit early. The panel.
Yeah, and we'll be there tomorrow too. Tomorrow is our opening ceremonies at Beat Culture near the airport, 7 to 10 p.m. or so. So yeah, I mean, obviously you don't have to come, but like
but on Monday we can.
But where exactly is it tomorrow?
Beat Culture near the it's at the Beat Culture is a microbrewery inside the Days Inn near the Miami airport.
Okay, so it's just if you can send me again the
it's just tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, and then that Emmett, you'll send him just how you'll register him, or
I sent it to Fernando. He does it on his end.
Okay, perfect.
Easier that way.
Okay, good. Okay,
but I mean, but if there's an issue, like we're the last panel, like probably won't be checking tickets right before the place closes.
Okay, but anyways, we'll check on it. He also sent it to me quite late, so if it isn't going through, I understand.
Yeah. So Joe, I'm thinking with your background, I think, I know you're going to be there also on Monday. I think that'd be great to set you up in the deal area as well. Because I noticed a lot of the panels are actually based around like fundraising and such as well. I think that'd be interesting. People to have some time with you, Q&A, just maybe like a roundtable give and take. We'll find other investment bankers or energy finance professionals, and we can all just talk, and then people can listen in that area.
Yeah,
obviously,
happy to do that.
Yeah, but I think Robin's concern is we don't have a side conference, so we'll probably keep it, not as formal to distract from people on stage. So.
Sure. Yeah, I'm
I forgot one more issue, which is I forgot one crucial issue, which is collaborating between the university and miners, Joe. The idea is a lot of the students are setting up rigs in their dorms, and they don't tell the university about it. And of course, a few months later, when they see a humongous electricity bill, they find out about it and they close it. So the idea was to collaborate officially with the university, with the professor and the students that are doing it anyways, and take the expense out of the rig miner, let the university use their electricity, and in return, place the facilities there and let the university teach the students about it actually on actual rigs. So the miner keeps his money, he knocks out the electricity cost, and he also gets students that are prepared, that not only are in engineering and computer science, but have a little experience on running his particular rig situation because they had a class about it. So that is one of the most important things that I forgot to mention. I was trying to mention it to Praveen, to host some rigs in the lab or in the professor's office, so the professor can include it in his curriculum and prepare students to have internships with the miners. And if you didn't understand it, Sarah can explain it in plain English so you can understand better what I said.
No, I think I'm understanding. Happy to like talk through some of those details with you on Monday. I mean, I'm going to be there by like 8 o'clock in the morning or so I'll be there all day. Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunities to work together with universities in a ton of different interesting ways. So, good. Looking forward to talking about that.
Great. All right, guys. So, yeah, we'll enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time. So at least and good to meet you, and looking forward to meet you in person, Joe.
yeah,
likewise, guys.
And I think it's good though. I think we have the shortcut vernacular now.
Yeah.
Among the panelists, and then so that since you kind of probably already know what the other person's going to say, we can like cut to the chase. So we don't on the panel we don't have to have we won't have too much like give and take beyond the time frame. So.
And you can see you can also see what the audience is like. Sometimes you really don't know. And I'd like, if you want, Praveen, is maybe a little bit to have questions from. I know we're limited in time, but maybe even a few minutes to get some questions from the audience as well.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's a good point. We'll have a few questions and then
you know what I mean.
So
even in the middle, you know what I mean. The problem and then you can say we'll address that at the end, or maybe in the middle or near the end to allow for a couple questions. And then the beauty here is we're at the end of the show. You can say if you have additional questions, you can come up and speak with the speakers.
Yeah, that's a good idea, but maybe we can we'll be there all day. Maybe we can prevent some of this.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
because we don't want to waste time with like questions.
Yeah, I know you don't want to waste time going off, and the time goes by really quickly, and especially since we have just even one speaker can take is a short period of time.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I'll pre-vet some of the questions and people who are going to ask questions, and I'll invite them to. I'll know who to pick on when they're answering. Because the issue is like a lot of these conferences, people ask questions, but really they're just showing their own product.
Right. They just want to advertise.
Right, and that's just
they want to use their advertising. Well, you'll see, Praveen. We'll leave it up to you.
Okay.
You're talking about advertising. Also, you may want to mention future activities. For example, we have another conference in the South Florida DevCon that is going to be at Nova University, where we're going to do a similar session, but targeted more to developers. So if Joe Dillon or other people that are looking for free development from students or some other thing like that, we would be glad to host you, Praveen, and also Joe. And if you can articulate something about apps that you need a developer for, and it's not financially feasible as of now, maybe some students can start as volunteer, then an intern, and then eventually, if it's good enough, can be hired and continuing developing apps.
No, that's a good point. Like, I'm the admin for the Telegram chat for South Florida Tech Hub, so I can create like a Google sheet to
that'd be great
to match like the people who come to the Energy Summit with their needs, and then we'll show that at the DevCon to see if anyone volunteers to work on their projects.
And I'd like to thank you particularly for spending all these years. I've been following you, and I saw how many hours and hours you spend, and you came to me in the last session and helped me with the camera, which is obvious that I don't know too much about it, and you took the time to go and ask the broadcaster for permission to move the camera forward and other things. That in so doing, you improved it 100%, and even how close you set it up, it was still very difficult to figure out what's going on. But where I set in, you probably wouldn't see a damn thing.
Yeah, man. So Joe, what they're describing is we had a large our annual South Florida Tech Hub conference down here and at the Fort Lauderdale Convention Center. So for the startup pitch awards they have every year, they wanted Dr. Rushinek wanted to live stream it, but the VR camera, the focal length is much shorter than the regular camera, so you have to get much closer. There's no real zoom out capability. So, and coming from an self-taught indie film background in LA, you have to you can't really ask too much permission per se. You have to ask with their expectation they're going to say yes, and sometimes they do, and this time they did.
Yeah, absolutely. Fully agree.
Yeah. Thank you, Praveen.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, yeah. So, sounds good. Yeah, it sounds like we got some you guys were recording, so we could do a little mini documentary about
we can go over it. And if you
about
want
how you guys invented remote monitoring and new type of Bitcoin SPACs. That'd be cool.
And more importantly, we have a transcript which we can then take and feed it to ChatGPT and get a couple of paragraphs that will summarize it for human digestion. Unlike this long and winding road of the transcript itself. So this is what we want to show, and we want to make available to you in case you have a use for it.
Yeah, and we can even, if you want this recording, Joe or Praveen, we can send you the link. And then you can summarize.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, good.
Great. Okay, guys. So yeah, have a good rest of the weekend.
Have the rest of the week. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
See you
so
on Monday.
much.
See you soon.
See you Monday. Thank you, Praveen. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, I'm gonna stop the YouTube. Okay, you want me to?
All right.
Stop.
I will stop it at the end. Don't worry about it. Now, let's do all the other
It's recording.
things first.
Okay,
What
do you want to stop now?
Let me do
You have, just so I'll tell you, you have Loom, you have Cloud, and you have YouTube on my part. I don't know if you did MSN Recorder.
Yes, I did.
So you can stop everything. Okay?
Fine.
Stop recording. And you're still recording on your phone.
So now I want to go to Pizarre and see I can find what is this Pizarre doing. Start it, which I forgot to start it before. Now I want to make the screen a little smaller and see what is going on with UCAM, if it is working, which it is. What is going on with MSN Recorder Max, which it is working, and what is going on with Loom. Okay, and that given, we can wrap it up first of all with Loom and see if Loom is working. Also, if I can pull up a document about the Bitcoin Power Summit and include some notes from there, I would like to open Word and see if I have something about South Florida. I have South Florida DevCon, for example. I have crypto is mostly over. I'm looking for here something about Bitcoin mining, which is related to the conference, saying that the downfall of Bitcoin mining on YouTube. Let's see, let's go up and see how is that related to what we were talking about. And it does, because the topic here is college kids are using campus electricity to mine cryptos. So this is exactly what the type of article that I wanted to find. And I wanted to paste some notes in here that pertain to what we are doing now. Put this hyperlink also in my comment in Pizarre. And okay. And now let's see if I can renew that. Find the previous session, increment it. That will be version B. And the time I started at 12:57, and now it is 2:22. Now I want to grab the psr.exe path, copy to the buffer, insert it at the first character, and start anew, edit as a comment. Okay, and then see if I can go to the YouTube and paste it in the YouTube message if she didn't manage to close it already, and pop it. I don't know why I cannot turn on the camera here. What are all of these? Desktop microphone. Start listening. Don't know why I cannot turn on the video. I guess because of one of the other cameras interferes with it, and I can close the other cameras, but for now it will be good enough. So I want to paste the new psr file name in my notes here. Enter, save. Also in my notepad here, edit, paste, a couple of enters, file save. What else can I do? I'm not sure. Let me see if I have a spreadsheet also with some notes. Not really. I think I have enough so far. Stop and strip all the media. Record video. So now I'm ready to wrap up everything. Create a folder with this file name. So I'm going to paste it again here. Paste. Then edit it a little bit so I'm left with a time and date, today's day, and the current time is 2:22. And this is Bitcoin Power Summit prep, and that is going to be our folder name. Edit, copy, and now I need to make some folders to store all these videos. locally on my hard drive to strip the media and then upload whatever was not stored on the cloud, upload it to the cloud. So I want to first of all see if it is in the buffer and paste it into my document here to find out that yes, it is in the buffer. And now I want to open up some instances of File Explorer as I create the folder as a subfolder on my video folder. So I'm going to go to this 100 VR360 first, open it up, and now create a new subfolder with today's time and date. So paste the new subfolder on top of the default name. Then copy to the buffer and create another subfolder in the other devices. There's one going to be on the A12 Samsung phone, so I'm going to paste it here. Then I'm going to create one for the S7 Samsung phone and paste it here. Then I'm going to create two of them on the HMT subfolders. One is the red and paste it here. And the other one is the white and paste it here. And now that I finished preparing it, I can take one of the devices and start stripping the media. Can you please bring your head mount here, Sarah? Bring your head mount, please. What do you do with it, head mount? Can you please bring it here?
Sure.
Jesus, help me, please. Chaos a little more. So here is the device that I want to strip. So I'm going to take this device. Now I want to look at the camera to see what I'm doing. I'm going to aim the camera at the device here. This is my webcam. Lower it down sufficiently so you can see, so the viewer can see my computer. Okay, so I have one data port here. I'm going to take this cable, this red cable, to connect this red cable to my USB port of the device, this case, this head-mounted computer. Connect it. Now I'm going to extend the other USB cable so I can connect it to the computer and strip it. That is, can you help me narrate it, please?
So you have the second,
Jesus, I just found it. You
Where
put it on the vegetables container. Can you please stay here and help me?
What would you like?
I'd like you to repeat what I say verbatim, without any commentary and nothing else. Can you do that? I'm now connecting the data port, the USB data port of the head-mounted tablet HMT to this computer to strip the media off of it. And you heard the sound,
when you hear the
which
sound,
means that this was recognized by the computer. So now I'm putting a rubber band on it, and I want to display it on my camera that just dropped from the connector. Tam me not, please, as I'm trying to figure out my head from my tail. What happened here? Yes. So this is the problem right here.
It's too heavy or what?
Too heavy, yes. Bring it up here. No.
You want me to hold it?
Nothing, no, please don't help me. I want to put it back cable is not long enough. That is another problem. So everything that is on the shoestring, and when I want to point it downwards, this is.
What is that supposed to do?
That is supposed to hold the.
Hold what?
Put more pressure on the clamp so it won't fall down. But the cable doesn't, the short cable doesn't allow me to stretch it any higher. What I need to do is I need to have this more flexible, not necessarily lower down, but be able to move up and down. So I wanted to show the keyboard, whatever I have on the keyboard, and I wanted to show right here that I connect it with the array. I connect this red rubber band that will sustain the pressure on the USB adapter, so it doesn't lose the connectivity in the middle. And then when I'm done with it, which I'm done with it now,
What do you mean done with it?
or sometime may not. I don't want to show the keyboard anymore. I want to show my face. I want to be able to manipulate the device. I want to make it a little smaller now. And I want to demonstrate how I strip the media off the device. So first of all, I have to open up the browser to show the HMT one white.
HMT one white.
Click on it.
Click on it.
And then see which device is loaded with the data and which is not. So the internet shared storage is loaded, and the Lexar SD card is empty.
It's empty.
So I know that the videos that I need to strip on my internal shared storage. So then I double click it to open it. And what should I do next, Sarah?
Go to movies.
Go to movies, right? And then
go to camera.
Go to camera.
And then you have those two, you can cut those.
That's right. So I want to, now it's important to click on the first without running it. And what as you see, it starts running, which is not bad, just to see what it is, but I didn't want to run it. So I'll display it and view it in a different mode in details. And then it is easier to place the cursor on it and to select it without running it. So I'm going to make it touch, but every time I try to do that,
it'd be better put it on shift. Put it on shift.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Need to touch it very lightly.
You don't want to do both of them?
No.
Yeah.
Just select the first one, shift to the last one, and mark both.
Yeah.
Then right mouse click and cut. Yeah. Then open another instance.
Open another instance.
Or File Explorer.
File Explorer.
Which is not what I wanted here.
What do you want?
Take one of the other instances and now find the target. I have the source, and now I have to find the target, which is white with today's date on the Bitcoin Power Summit prep.
Yeah.
Open it up and paste. And in so doing,
you paste the two files.
Grab the path, copy to the buffer, open my notepad, and create a space for it here that I know I'm going to have to strip have some media coming, make some space and demark it with, let's say, open brace and close brace, and paste. Edit paste the path, then file save it.
File save.
And now that I finished with one, I can wait for it to finish stripping the media, and then I can upload it to YouTube or further process it.
Okay.
But I don't want it to take so much of the space, so I'm going to make it a little smaller on both the source and the target. and be able to see in real time when the source is being emptied. And when that is done, I have to line up the second item, which is the second camera that is already too hot anyways. So I'm going to stop this recording.
Which was an hour.
I didn't want to stop my head mount, but it stopped anyway. So I'm going to tell it, pam, 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 no garbage.
Record video.
So now it starts working again. Now, excuse me, Lil. I'm connecting it to the computer here.
You're connecting the phone.
And try to strip the media, connecting the phone to the computer.
Do you want to shut it down?
No.
So it won't be too hot?
No, I want to just go to the home page. Shutting it down would be no good because it has to be on when I strip the media. I just want to close all the apps. Repeat what I said.
It says no recently used apps.
And then connect it to the computer.
And hopefully it'll be recognized.
And now.
I don't hear it recognized.
Tom, tom, Tommy, no garbage.
I didn't hear the sound.
And now I have to pull it in so it computer recognizes it. And if it doesn't, I'll take it in and out. And then put the rubber band so it does recognize it.
I don't hear it.
And sometimes you won't hear it, but it will work anyways. To verify that, I need to open another instance. No, no, because I need to light my face. So now I want to open another instance of File Explorer to see whether it recognizes this phone. I have to blow it full screen and see that it doesn't recognize it. So because of that failure to recognize it, you have to take it in and out while it is displayed there. Then I want to point the phone back down at my hands, the camera, thank you. And try to take it in and out again until it is recognized.
No. It has too many resources going.
An issue here with all these connections that may not be solid, so I have to double and triple check all the connections here to make sure that everything is properly connected. When I realize that the cable has been disconnected, so then it becomes obvious why it doesn't work.
Yeah, you could hear that one.
So now I'm putting back the adapter.
Yeah, I hear it.